That was an important issue.
Now I'd like to recognize Senator Duckworth via WebEx, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for this very important hearing. And Dr. Kahl, good to see you again. We had a great conversation yesterday. Today, though, I'd like to focus on the current pacing threat for the Department of Defense competition with the PRC. I know we've already had this discussion a little bit today already, and also thank my colleague from Hawaii, Senator Hirono, for bringing this up also. I have been long been an advocate for increased military-to-military cooperation in the Indo-Pacific. And I think you'll agree that we are stronger and more secure when we work with our allies and partners to confront changes and challenges. In particular, I believe we must move quickly to strengthen existing relationships in Southeast Asia in particular and form new ones. These partnerships are vital to building our presence in the region and providing a check on the PRC government, which has shown that unless it is challenged, it will attempt to single-handedly dictate terms for the entire region. Our cooperation cannot be limited to DoD alone, and I believe that a whole of society approach that includes greater diplomatic and economic engagement is necessary for success. Can you please outline some key policy opportunities you see to improve our strategic partnerships in Southeast Asia? In your answer, please make sure to address how DoD can support other agencies' efforts in this critical region.
Thank you, Senator. I think the biggest opportunity is the growing concern and recognition that a more assertive China has produced. That is, I think that a lot of our allies and partners are nervous. Frankly, I think that the pandemic and China's early cover-up of the pandemic and some of its heavy-handed wolf warrior diplomacy during the pandemic has also created opportunities for us to lean in with countries who are increasingly worried about Beijing. I could not agree with you more about the importance of emphasizing our alliances and our partnerships. It is one of the biggest asymmetric advantages that the United States has. No other global power has the network of allies and partners that we have. And if I'm confirmed, a huge part of my job will be in nurturing those relationships. I think we have enormous opportunities in the Indo-Pacific. I think that the last administration made some important strides in this area, as did the Obama administration. I think we have opportunities to work not just with our treaty allies like Japan and South Korea and Australia and the Philippines, but with countries like Singapore and Vietnam and others in ASEAN. And I think there's growing opportunities with India. So I actually think this is an area where we have enormous possibility.
Thank you. If you're confirmed, would you commit to working with me to explore innovative ideas to improve mill-to-mill partnerships in the region, such as working with the Department of State to expand the IMET program, or perhaps using the Army Corps of Engineers to help flooding or other opportunities like that?
Yes, I commit to working with you and to everybody else on the committee on those issues, because I do think there's no monopoly on good ideas on either side of the aisle. Or among any of us. So, it needs to be one team, one fight.
Thank you, Hua. People of color, I'm going to return to this issue of racism within the military. People of color and women can face significant systemic barriers to maintaining successful careers in the Department of Defense. I saw this. It's why I had 2 children at the age of 46 and 50, because I had to, in order to pursue my career, postpone pregnancy. So there are systemic barriers to women and to people of color. This leads to a lack of diversity at the top levels of DoD military and civilian leadership. And in certain communities, this is especially true, like special operations. If confirmed, how would you personally work to increase diversity in DoD leadership, both civilian and uniform, and include people of color and women so they can contribute to the mission and ensure that everyone in the Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Policy had the necessary support to succeed professionally?
I think everybody in the DoD leadership has an obligation to break down barriers to the advancement of women and people of color. I agree 100% that the top ranks, both civilian and military, do not reflect the diversity of the United States. I think we are stronger as a country when our workforce, including our national security workforce, reflects the full diversity that our country brings to bear. I think that's another one of our asymmetric advantages, one that we're not taking advantage of enough because there's not enough diversity, equity, and inclusion. So you have my commitment, if I am confirmed, as the undersecretary, that in the organization that I would lead, that I would look for opportunities to retain and promote the talent that we already have, and as we hire and bring on new folks, to make sure that this is a major priority, that we are expanding the diversity of our workforce. And then more broadly in the department, working with Secretary Austin and Deputy Secretary Hicks on this issue, because I know it is a big priority for them as well.
Thank you. And I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Senator Duckworth.